I have my wick clipper with me, and we're going to start with showing you what's involved with the wick clipping. Welcome to the Fireside Chat. I'm Cherie Hendricks, and I'm the founder and CEO of Laguna Candles. What we will be discussing today is the importance of good candle care. It really does allow you to have a long-lasting candle. So I thought I would take a few minutes and share with you some of the steps that we encourage to make your candle last longer. So we're going to start off with the very most important part of wick clipping. I know many of you may wonder, well, why should I clip the wick? I had a dear friend of mine. What she would do instead of clipping, after she would burn a candle, she would take her finger and that was her way of clipping. But on another note, one of the things that we encourage is that you clip the wick, because it really will allow your candle, you'll have a much longer lifespan of your candle. And so we're going to start off, I have my wick clipper with me, and we're going to start with showing you what's involved with the wick clipping. I have our candle from the Founders Collection. This particular fragrance is the Lane, and you'll find more about that when it comes to the fragrance. But what I'm going to do is I have a wick clipper here. One thing you'll notice with most candles, they typically have what you call a warning label at the very bottom. And at the very bottom, it will tell you the importance of the burning instructions. And one is trim wick to a 1/4 inch before lighting. So that is a gauge as far as you're knowing how far down to trim the wick. So before burning, what I would do is take my wick clipper and you would trim the wick. Boom. Just like that. It's very simple. And the importance of trimming it is that it allows you to have a much cleaner burn. There are many times when you may wonder, we've had some ask, well, what is the burn time? How long will the candle burn? And a size such as this, you're looking at approximately 70 hours. And so a 70-hour burn time, in which this one is between 11 and 13 ounces, this will give you a pretty good amount of burn time for the life of the candle. So that really is something to be mindful of as well. There are times when one may wonder, well, my goodness, this is a luxury candle, and why does it cost, X amount? And that's a very good question. And one key reason is that you will have this candle longer. So therefore you get to experience and enjoy the candle for several more hours, depending on the size of the vessel. Now keep in mind, if you have an 8-ounce vessel or a 4-ounce vessel, you're looking at various burn times, which would be, of course, less. In this instance, as I mentioned, this is a 70-hour burn time, which means that you have plenty of time to enjoy the candle. And the same with your, choosing a candle with a smaller vessel. And then there are times when one will want to burn a votive, which is much less burn time. A couple of tips when it comes to overheating. And that is, what you will find is before you light your candle, make sure you clip the wick then. Because what you typically will find is that if you just don't clip the wick and you just go in and light it, it has a tendency to burn hotter, and it could be a little smoky. So before lighting the candle, just clip that wick, as mentioned on the warning label, about a 1/4 of an inch. And then that way you'll have less likelihood of it being smoky. Some have asked about the memory ring. Let me give you an example. There are times when we decide we want to burn a candle, and maybe we have errands to run. And so we start the candle, clip the wick, of course, light the candle, and then we decide, oh, that's right, I'm going to have to run out and go for a few hours to run errands. Typically, that ring, you will start to notice that when you will have lit the candle and you've let it burn for a short period, it develops a ring, which is almost like it's a memory. And so therefore, that ring will impact the burn of that candle throughout the time, throughout the time that you have the candle. So I would encourage anyone that if you're going to burn your candle, something that I do all the time and many do, it would be a good idea when you know that you won't be leaving out quickly. Just give yourself a little bit of time, and then that way you'll get a chance to enjoy the experience of the burn, and the candle will last much longer. And the interesting thing about the memory is if you will have started to burn the candle and then within a short period of time, you blow it out, then you're going to notice that the candle has started to tunnel. And so therefore you come back after you've ran your errands and you go to light the candle. And there's this circle here which shows it's tunneled. And you think, okay, well, eventually it should be able to pull all the way to the end. But no, what you're seeing is where your original burn was when you lit the candle, that circle is burning down throughout the candle burn. So basically the duration of the candle burn, you're still seeing that tunneling. And that's why they call it tunnels. And so that's why we're encouraged, you have a good enough warning label to make you aware how you can experience the best candle burn, and then also being mindful. You want the candle to burn edge to edge. So therefore, you may want to give yourself, I'd say between 1 and 2 hours for it to burn instead of, doing it within a short period. And again, it depends on the size of the vessel. And finally, I'd like to invite you to take a look at our website. We have candle accessories such as wick clippers, lighters, snuffers, and then we also have our newest collection, which is the Founders Collection. And as I mentioned earlier, the Lane fragrance, Layne, that fragrance is there on the website. I'd like for you to stay tuned for our next fireside chat. The subject we're going to talk about is knowing the difference between a luxury candle and a less expensive candle. And so I look forward to you joining us, and it's been a pleasure. Until next time, thank you.